It's the new track. It's the one that everybody has been keeping an eye out on here as we find ourselves in Hungary at the Hungaroring. This is one of the most brilliant tracks and a surprising track for how old and how relevant this place has been. This was a track made in the late 1980s, moving itself over to the modern day, and it has been a place of new beginnings for so many drivers making their careers. It leapfrogged the career of Jenson Button. It leapfrogged the career of Fernando Alonso, and it might just leapfrog some careers of some sim racers wanting to make it their reality. I'm Jake Sperry, joined alongside with Jay Kennedy for all of the action here today. And Jay, this is a track which is by all means a downforce style circuit. Your big overtaking zone is 1 into 2, and then from there, that middle sector, that run from the chicane all the way down to that very, very difficult 90-degree right-hander at the bottom of the circuit makes all of the difference around this fantastic place.
Yeah, it's an awesome track, and it's such a surprise to have it in iRacing, considering pre-pandemic they tried to get this and Red Bull Ring in and had no success at even getting contact with the tracks. Turn 18 months and we've got both in the service and more exciting things to come. So it's very, very cool to see that we've got this on iRacing. As you said, very, very draft dependent track as well. Making sure you maintain that draft. Only the one DRS zone in the iRacing version, the iRacing iteration at this stage. So that will make it make for a little bit more difficulty in overtakes as well.
It certainly will make for a little bit of difficulties, but the first qualifying lap times are coming in on the board as things stand at the moment, and it's Mitchell Welker currently the quickest right now. 1:20.228 is a 10th clear of Adam Gleeson, who is in second position. And by all measures, this track actually did surprise me when I got the chance to jump in and drive it. My only experiences really, Jay, have come from the likes of F1 Career Challenge, where it was a lot more of a wider and expansive style of circuit. Now you look at this place in terms of how it is, it really does surprise me how tight some of the corners are, especially turn 1. It's a lot more of a braking zone. You can see just how quickly they funnel through the chicanes. And of course, that's a spin there. That's not ideal at all for the Project 2 car going around in circles. But what we saw as well is that iRacing have added in some of those orange cones there, those anti-cut curves on the inside of that chicane, saying, nope, we don't want anybody going too aggressive and cutting around that area of track.
Exactly right. And the thing that surprised me the most was how narrow the track was. Sure, it's bumpy, it's pretty fast and flowing, but yeah, some sections are very, very narrow. And with these cars as wide as they are, it makes it even more difficult to pass the qualifying. Has an extra little bit to it as Nurmala goes up to P1. He's done for the session. We saw Welker have a spin, so he's done. Marquez, a bit better than last week, currently P3 with one more flying lap to go, although he's pulled out of that flat by the looks of things.
He certainly has pulled out of that lap as we focus on Matt Wood there just for the moment. There is another driver, Adam Webb, searching for a bit of a lap time here. They've got that hard count, of course, of 8 minutes. They have to get their 2 laps in before those 8 minutes are up to give themselves every single opportunity. And he is down in, Adam Webb is yet to set a lap time, at this point in time. So we'll see what the number 10 can do, making his way through turn 13. And that switch back to the long final corner of turn 14. These back-to-back flat corners as you exit the final section are so much of a killer on tyres. And Adam Webb over the line lap does not count. Does have, though, this as he will set up his first flying lap even at this moment in time. So that's a really interesting decision to be made out there. It is worth noting as well here that a couple drivers are going for the medium compound tyre. Biggest of all of those going for the medium, Jay, is car number 3, Marta Piatilla.
Of course, picked up the win last week at Monza. We've heard some reports from all sorts of drivers that this is probably one of the most open strategy races we're going to see all season. Nearly every strategy option you could think of and jot down is a viable option. Making softs work for a one-stop works, going soft. double stinning softs and wearing them hard. Soft, medium, 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 and the possible medium all the way to the end for those that are very, very good. It is a long race though, this one of the longest we'll see all season, 50 laps.
It is, and those 50 laps are going to be key for the length of this race and how short this track is. As Adam Webb makes his way through 13, looking for 14 once again, and hoping that the lap time is on the books and on the money. So we've just seen a little bit of a look on what this circuit can give. That's a 121.7 there for Adam Webb on the Redwall soft compound tyres, so only good enough for 16th position at this point in time. But a lot of drivers know that this is going to be a tough circuit to set up for, because they don't have that experience, Jay, over the series so far to know exactly how to make it work around this wonderful track.
Exactly right, and making a setup work over the entirety of a race stint is not as easy as it sounds. So I know the earlier races in the week have been pretty well populated, so we've seen quite a few drivers do some test races. So thanks to those guys that have sent me replays to be able to help make a cool camera pack for this track too, because new track means all sorts of new challenges for us as broadcasters as well.
Such as having a very good eye through the guardrails there at the car coming into the pits. So that is a very good idea as they go through. There's some of the photo cameramen keeping an eye out on everything that's going on. And that's some of the really cool additions. It's the minutiae, it's the details that iRacing adds, which I think is absolutely lovely. Timer, though, is going to expire on Adam Webb's second lap. He will not get another one in. Let's go to the grid, and it will be one finished driver on pole, but not the one we expected. Marco Nurmler for Racecraft will be on the pole with Mitchell Welker alongside for company. Jorge Martinez will start from third with Adam Gleeson in fourth place. Matt Wood goes from fifth, and it's a fantastic return to form for Brad Newman, who is there in sixth position, having some love with it. Dennis Branch starts seventh with Diogo Oliveira all the way back in eighth place with Reynaldo Augusto ninth, and Marty Piatilla on the mediums going from 10th place. Klaus Siemertz goes in 11th with Anthony Catt, 12th position overall. Following that is Kent Nielsen, the Canadian, and Adam Cohn, the New Zealander. Ray Griffioen goes from 15th alongside Adam Webb in 16th. Then it's John Pat Kelly and Jamie R. Hall there in 18th position. Then it's Martin Brandborg there with Ben Horrell, Jacob Swiderski, Jan Stratinsky, and Thomas Wieck. And not setting a lap time was Philip Schiff, and two more drivers down the bottom, Stefan Piotrowski and the Swedish driver Isaac Ruska there, who has work to do from the very back of the grid. Keep an eye out then on drivers on mediums. Jamie Hall, Marty Piatilla, Jacob Swiderski on the mediums, as is Ben Horrell, Thomas Wieck, Stefan Piotrowski and Isaac Ruska. They are all there. They are all hoping that the result is what they need. We've said it's 50 laps. It's going to feel like an incredibly long race out there today, but they all know and understand that strategy is of the utmost importance, and can they find themselves the run they need? We saw, of course, in the Formula One this year that the run to turn one is never a guarantee overall, and it can cause dramas. Will that be the same here today in the IGPS, and what could be the final season for these beautiful McLaren MP430s with the announcement that Mercedes F1 made earlier on in the week? So, what can you do? What can you manage? It is Marco Nurmler out in front. It is Mitchell Welker in second. And every opportunity starts now. We're green and we're go. Welker does not go off the start. What a great launch it was there from one Mr. Diogo Oliveira. He's already up there. Matt Wood's challenging for third place. They dive into turn number one. Wood has to get out of it there. And Martinez is going to get a turn. Martinez gets a huge turn in the middle of the circuit. And everyone's going to scatter. Someone's upside down. I think it's Brad Newman who's gone up and over, going through. Very similar to Daniel Ricciardo with the same sort of livery. Disasters off the start, just as we predicted.
Yeah, what a crazy start that was. And yeah, as you say, no surprise to see that happen at the start. Biggest winner out of all of that, though. Marty Piatella, he's already up in the fourth position from starting way back in 10th. And he's on the medium tyres. If he can hold these guys off, he has just pulled a masterstroke.
He may just have created a bit of genius out there on circuit. We still got... Oh, there's a big wreck up at the chicane. It looks like Jamie Hall is involved in it here. So he's in all sorts of troubles. He had those 3 separate wrecks, sorry.
Guys,
so it looks like
50 lap
one
race, not one
driver,
lap.
Philip Schiff, got caught up in an incident going into turn 5. There were 3 wide coming in, and both Schiff and I think that is Martin Brandborg here getting caught up. You can see Brandborg nearly going over at that stage, and then immediately after that, up at the chicane, there's another incident that happens where drivers crash into each other. And it looks like going through, it's Piotrowski and Siemens, and then Jamie Hall has his own issue.
Crazy start to the race we've had. We're going to pick up this for Jamie Hall. A little bit further and see if we can work it all out. This happened just ahead of that incident we've just seen. So 3 huge crashes, and there's the other incident. And then Jamie Hall, I think he outbroke himself there and just decided to put it in the wall rather than take out an opponent.
Easily done, and you would say very helpful around there on circuit. So keep an eye out on drivers trying to get the best they possibly can out of racing here today from this fantastic Hungaroring circuit. It is at the front, Marco Nurmler. Matt Wood is there in second. Third is Mitchell Welker. There's the F1 AXCAR of Ronaldo Augusto. What a pack this is. You've got Augusto trying to chase down Dennis Branch in the blue flag racing car. Then you've got Anthony Catt and Adam Gleeson there, all trying to go through. Anthony Catt, rare to see him on the softs, but he's on the softs to start this one. And for the first time in a while, just like his Chelsea team, some would say, he's looking aggressive and punchy.
Good to see him up in the top half of the field. We've seen him struggle to make his way forward in these races recently. We're already up 4 spots, so he's done very, very well. Shout out to Isaac Rushka in the 24 car. Currently up 12 positions. Started in 26th, now up into 14th position, so that's a good start for him.
It is a very good start and exactly what is needed. And there's the wide line we just saw the back end of. Here comes a move, though, down the inside. This is Adam Cohn and Ben Horrell. And look at the drive off the exit that Adam Cohn's going to get. He's going to try and figure this out on the outside. He's not going to get there, but he looks for the inside of turn 2. It's off camber through here. As you descend, the track falls away from you with gravity as well, meaning that if you can work the outside line, you will have the inside up the hill at turn 3, and that has been the traditional move that we've seen around this circuit. Adam Cohn just finding out how difficult the dirty air is, moving up through in towards the big left-hander on track, turn 4.
And difficult to get moves done in this section from here on back as well, so very, very narrow, very technical section of circuit. Hard to make those overtakes and make them work. So Puck's back in behind, and we're back into single file running. At the front of the field, Mitchell Welker trying to get this move done on Matt Wood. As Wood tries to hold on to this second position. DRS enabled now, though.
Certainly is, and this front stretch is going to be the place where we're going to see that DRS, that drag reduction system enabled as they run towards turn number 1, slam on the brakes and go through the right. No dice just yet then from Welker, but he knows he's got patience on his side. He just has to be there waiting at this stage. So will this be a case of it works long term, or is this going to be a case of I want to get it done right now to make this a reality? We've got already 6 drivers a lap down in this race. They include Thomas Wieck, Jamie Hall, Kent Nielsen, Martin Brandborg, Stefan Piotrowski and Brad Newman. Both Martinez and Siemens were able to drive their cars back to the pits after the lap 1 incidents, Jay, and as such, they are now over 30 seconds adrift in this race.
Yep, and Brandborg and Nielsen have continued on, even though they are now 1 lap down. So they will struggle to get back onto the lead lap. They're going to have to pull master stroke somehow to get back onto the lead lap here, but they'll be out there to try and gain as many spots as they can and hope that the attrition rate remains high. As we've seen it very, very high to start with. Maximum capacity grid for this race at 26. And we're seeing the effects of that. We haven't seen a 26 car grid in a little while. So to see a full field of 26, 2 full splits is a great sight to see, considering we were talking off air that only 12 months ago we were struggling to see 1 full split of 26.
Oh, I agree. And this is what has been so amazing about this series, seeing it claw up again and again. Now, driver into the pits here This is interesting. That's Adam Gleeson. Question will be, will he take a stop in the box, or is he going out longer here in terms of this? You can see he's flicking through the gears. He's wanting to maximize his time here in pit lane. He will come to his box, it seems. He will take a stop at the end of lap 4. Damage on the front wing, I think, has forced his hand. He's moving on to the yellow walled medium compound tyres. I think a one-stop from here is very, very ambitious, 45 laps. So I think he's converting this to a two-stop strategy. Yeah,
I agree. I think he's doing it now. And he'll come back in at, say, lap 35 and put on some softs and go 15 laps at the end. That's likely strategy. 45 laps on mediums is a tough ask. It is possible, but it is a tough ask. Gleeson's not too bad in regards to tyre wear and making the tyres last, but I think even for him, it's a tough ask to make that happen.
I certainly agree. It's going to be a long day at the office there for him as they go through. Now, a little struggle trying to put the power down for Mitchell Welker coming off that straight. You can see behind, Martin Piatilla here has DRS on the straights. He is mitigating the damage done by having a worse set of tyres underneath and going through. It's worth talking about track temperatures here today, because that will be a huge factor in how this race goes out. It's 39 degrees. As again, Adam Cohn has a little bit of a look there against that driver of Ben Horrell. Not going to have anything to happen with it, but it's 39 degrees, which you would say is a better operating window for the drivers to get life into tyres, but it's also very good in terms of using up all the tyres. Someone's had a spin actually coming through that section just in front, so someone has been in a bit of trouble, it seems, going through there. It might have been Griffio, and you might be right, but it's going to be very important to see this as we check it out on the virtual racing score replay.
Thanks, Adam.
So through into 3. Oh! How do you save that, Jay?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I don't know how he did, but our Ray Griffioen might be needing more than just a change of tyres. You might need a change of underpants at the pit stop as well. Very, very good save.
That's the sort of accident where you need a brown button on the steering wheel to say, I need to pit, not for any reason, but it's a code brown moment.
Yeah. 4 tyres, fix my tear-offs, replace the front wing if needed, and a change of underpants at race suit. Yeah, Griffioen continuing on, somehow not putting it in the wall. That was a great bit of driving.
Oh, absolutely it was, and that is just a mark of what you need to do around this circuit. Top 5, by the way, split by just 3.7 seconds, and all 5 of them on that last lap did either a 122.9 or a 123.0.
Yeah, the slowest of the lot was Mitchell Welker. So Piatella doing really good laps, even though he's on that alternate strategy with the medium compound tyre. He's matching these soft runners for pace. Considering we're only 7 laps in, you would think that the soft compound would be a lot quicker than the medium, but Piatella's making this medium work very, very well for him at the moment.
I'm not sure whether it's the fact that there's that much difference from it, or Piatella is just driving like a driver possessed at this moment in time to keep himself in range of Welker just in front. Of course, the most famous Mitchell Welker found himself in a Super Bowl once upon a time, lost to someone called a Tom Brady, whatever that may be. But at least at this stage in time, they're making that good progress here in the early stages of this race. We're on lap 8. We're expecting those pit stops to come in. They've got to try and reach around lap 22, 23 if they have hopes of a one-stop strategy working. And it's going to be a long lap 22, lap 23. They'll find themselves out as there are battles up and down the order. Ben Horrell now is looking behind because Adam Cohn's got to run to the inside of turn 2. And he lunges down the inside, and we just catch the back end of it. Softs finally getting around mediums.
Yeah, Ben Horrell had done a good job to defend that spot for so long, considering DRS for Adam Cohn. But as we said before, only the one DRS zone here down the front straight, so not as easy to get the moves done with DRS assistance as in real life, because there are 2 DRS zones here in real life, and iRacing trying to get the second DRS zone in as far as I understand. So we'll hopefully have that in for next season, which could be one of the most exciting yet in iRacing Grand Prix series.
Absolutely could. And we've seen this series go from strength to strength over the last 12 months, and I'm sure we're going to see even more as the leading 5 right now keep themselves in a pretty solid position right now. Marco Nurmela leads by 1.3 seconds over Matt Wood in 2nd position. It's Welker in 3rd. It's Piatilla in 4th, and Diogo Oliveira in 5th place. Now, Oliveira had an absolutely cracking start to this race. If he continued with a start like that, he could have gone rocketing up, challenging for the lead if he needed to. The only issue he had off his start was that the track was completely 3 wide in front of him. He couldn't do anything more than he did.
There was almost 4 wide in front of him at some points as well, because of course we had cars off the racing surface as well as the 3 wide going on. So he, if there was more track there, he would have used it and been able to get more spots. It was a great start, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the full advantage of his brilliant launch that he had. Now in 5th position, of course, started in 8th. He's going along quite nicely at this stage. Now in regards to pit stops as well, we're looking around lap 15. We're going to start to see the first pit stops happen.
And that's going to be for those who want to maybe 2-stop their way today. Go soft, 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 and use that as an advantage with the tyre life early here today in this one. Of course, they're also dealing today here with a track that is very, very hilly, Jay, and has 26km/h winds coming in from the southwest. So that might not be helping them too much on this front stretch. It's almost a crosswind as they go through, but it's as they make these runs which becomes so key. They get a great launch in towards turn number 2. They get a great launch through the second half of the circuit. Wind today is not going to be helping them in terms of getting overtakes done.
No, exactly right. It's absolute polar opposite the wind direction. It's a bit of a mistake there for Oliveira. Missed the apex, but didn't cost him too much time. Just also seeing Philip Schiff in the pits. The other thing with the wind too, it can actually unsettle the car a little bit. Strong winds with the hilly track. You'll find that there'll be pockets of wind as well, wind where it won't be in other areas. So it can also catch you off guard a little bit too. One of the cool things though is the amount of work that iRacing's done on the flags here, so no excuse for the drivers not seeing that it's windy out there.
No, I agree with that statement, and these drivers as well, new track means new boundaries to explore, and they can see some of the Pirelli flags just fluttering about in the wind, and fluttering a lot around in the wind actually around this place. But the key as well is off-track incidents. Of course, this is the brand new standard that iRacing is doing. There's a rules tab in the iRacing sim that tells you where exactly the track limits are, and that is 40. All 14 corners have got that in terms of where the track limits are. It is on corner exit, the edge of the red and white curbing, everywhere on this track, so you know you've got the curb but no more. And if you use all your 17 incident points up, that's a drive-through penalty for the day.
And we saw that last round. We saw a couple of people have to drive through. We've seen in previous races it cost people with drive-throughs as well. So we'll no doubt see someone drive through, especially with so many laps to be done at this track. We'll see that drive-through. Interesting to note as well, the gap between Nurmela and Wood was around about 1.5 seconds. It is now down to the magic 1 second bracket and just under.
So you can see here the second phase of the race, or of the stint you could say, for Matt Wood. It's giving him what he wants in this one. Lap 11, and he is just slowly clawing his way back in. And this needs to be a good race today from Matt Wood, because he knows that he has been struggling over round number 1. It wasn't the greatest start to the defence of a title, and he wants to be a driver that goes out there and can give a title defence. The RS flat wide open, first time that he's had that today, and as you can see behind, into the pits to Welker, who was starting to drop. Diogo Oliveira is going to follow him in lap 12. That is very early.
Yeah, that's surprising how early that is. So they're in 4 tyres already, 38, 39 laps still to go, so still a lot of racing left in this race. Surprised to see them in this early, but they'll obviously have worked out the right way to tackle this strategy. I'm guessing they're going onto the medium tyre because no, they're staying on softs, both of them. I was going to say might be looking to go to mediums purely because of how much pace Piatella's got and showing that the mediums are actually working here.
Well, here's the issue they have. They're out in traffic right now. They've got to get by Jacob Swiderski and Jan Stratinsky. Oliveira's got to find a way around John Pat Kelly as well. So this is going to be a tough. So the foe, Aston Martin, now is going to be interesting to see how that on medium tyres goes. And they are older medium tyres, and it's getting right up underneath. You can see just how much that Welker is having to check out. He's going to try and maybe have a look towards that chicane, angle it up, but again, just not enough of a run here in the middle sector to make it happen. You are a passenger from this point all the way now to turn 12 out there on circuit, and that's a nightmare.
Yep. Narrow single file racing through here, and I guess the one positive is the tyres may not quite be up to temp as they're three wide into turn 12. And Velker's compromised and not going to be able to get it done.
He certainly is. Nobody else has decided to come in this early, as in fact into the pits does come someone. That's Adam Cohn making the stop. So in comes Stratinsky. He gets out of the way as well. But really, you start to see why this track is difficult and why track position matters. Welker looking for the move. Going to go to the inside to try and pick this one off. He's late on the brakes, and a big wide line is going to be given. In fact, so wide that you can park the entire fleet of buses from the capital of Budapest down that gap. And that is Jacob Swiderski losing the spot.
Have a look at how close it's getting at the front now. Down to 0.4 of a second between first and second. Nurmela now starting to feel a lot of pressure from behind from Matt Wood. And Marty Piatella just sitting there, watching, waiting. I don't think he's too keen to get the move done. I think he's just happy and content watching these two ahead fight. And he'll pick off the pieces as they come.
Surprised there that Nurmela didn't dive in for the pits that lap. He'd been closed in and closed in and closed in some more. But it ultimately is not happening there. Racecraft in the lead by team. Matt Woods independent in second. And there you got that VRS Coanda Sim Sport car in third place. Marty Piatella, car number 3 by iRacing. Into the pits now comes Anthony Catt to make his first stop. He comes through out of the pits in 6th position. He dived in, into this one. And this is a very, very slow pit lane as well. Just 50 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, one of the slowest we see in iRacing. And interesting that the balance between soft and medium definitely is swung in the medium's favour. You can look at that lap time there. Piatella versus Nurmela. 7/10 faster was Marty Piatella last lap. So we're going to see Nurmela in this lap, you would feel. Conditions haven't really changed a huge amount since race start. Still just under the 40 degrees Celsius. But they are looking more difficult as Mitchell Welker just sets the fastest lap of the race.
No surprise, he's got to get that going. Look at the gap he's actually pulled over Diogo Oliveira, who's only just now got through Jacob Swiderski. So he's done a wonderful job as we keep things in perspective here with these drivers. The top 3 looking fantastic out there at this stage. You can see them line astern, and this is the sort of phase of the race where Marty's going to start going and gaining that advantage on that yellow wall medium compound tyre in comparison. Wood sends it in deep. He's left the door open here for Marty Piatella, who's going to have a chance now to go around the outside of turn 2 if he wants to get it sorted. Wood gets a much better drive. Big send to the inside from Marty Piatella. Locks up the front. Wood gives him just enough room as they go through. And Marty Piatella here has got the move sorted, or has he? They'll fight up the hill. I think Piatella's got the move done. Unbelievable overtake there from Party Marty.
What a pass that was. Lured Matt Wood into, whether it was a mistake or whether he just left it open a little bit at turn 1, but the commitment into turn 2 to pull that up and get that move done and then hold that line through 3 around the outside. What a move that was. Congratulations to Marty Piatella. One of the best moves we'll see all season long. I mean, I could say it's the best move of the season so far, but we're only 2 rounds in. I think that's going to be the move of the season.
That is a fantastic move, but Matt Wood as well there had to really open up the steering through the corner to make sure there wasn't an accident So Marta Piatilla pushed it in a little bit too much as Martinez comes in, and now the race leader comes in. Marco Nurmela bites the bullet, 15 in, and Woods had a moment. Woods had a big moment going into the final corner, and he has dropped a bundle of time.
What's happened here for Matt Wood?
I think he spooked himself. I think he was trying to go into the pits. Oh, no, leader's in, I'm going to stay out, and then he spun it.
Yep. Wasn't sure what to do. He wanted to do the opposite of whatever Nurmela did, but realised too late what was going on, or maybe was too busy looking at his black boxes trying to sort out a pit stop. But yeah, uncharacteristic mistake there.
And it's quite interesting.
Behind.
I just want to point out that there has been an incident for Jorge Martinez over that last lap, as that's very interesting where he's come out there. Marco Nurmela in the stop. He's behind Welker by a long way, but Martinez and Schiff came together on that last lap, and for Jorge Martinez, he got uncharacteristically angry over it.
Interesting, we just saw him in the pits, so pit stop time doesn't look abnormal, so it looks like he's got away without damage, but that's a second pit stop for Martinez in this race, and he chucks on yet another set of soft tyres. So looks like the soft strategy call for most of the drivers in the field is the plan of attack, but medium or medium soft, whichever way Marty Piatella is going. At the moment, looks like it might be the strategy of the race as Matt Wood comes in.
Yeah, Matt Wood looking to make his stop, and he did lose a few seconds after spinning the car up, deciding whether he wants to go on the lane or not. He will go down to the 5th to last grid box here at this Hungaroring, and he will take his service then, and it will be just about under that Aramco bridge, as there goes the race leader, absolutely flying by Mitchell Welker. Nurmela there, and Oliveira, we say net race leader as well, because it's not a guarantee that he'll be the leader when he comes out, but Matt Wood here is going to come out with Jacob Swiderski yet to make a stop, so he gets that done. He's in a scrap now with his race with Dennis Branch and co.
The positive for Matt Wood is he came out just ahead of Swiderski, because if he was behind, we would have seen the same sort of issues that Oliveira had earlier, getting past yellow wall tyre runners, the medium tyre runners, struggling to get those moves done as we're at 1/3 race distance. We've had more action in this 1/3 of a race than what we've seen in other races for an entire 200 kilometres. It's been an incredible race so far, and we've only done 66 kilometres.
Exactly, and it's going to feel like a really long race, these 200 Ks. It's one of the slower average speeds on the calendar, because there aren't necessarily that many straights that get you up to top speed and get you going at that level of pace. So for all of these drivers, they know that it's going to be a long road to get themselves forward. What's going to be key now, though, is who is yet to come in and make a stop. In ahead of the leaders is Marta Piatilla, of course, who is part of the leaders, but the 17 of Ben Horrell is yet to come down in and make a pit stop, Jay. So this is going to be interesting, whether Horrell's going to make that stop in the next 7 laps or so, or whether Mitchell Welker is going to catch him and get around. I think it's going to be before that, as we just take a little look there. I believe Dennis Branch having himself in a little bit of a battle right now. He has got himself through now on Jacob Swiderski.
Yeah, Swiderski didn't make that too hard in the turn 1 either, so moved on. Yeah, only the 3 cars that get to pit, and they were all the drivers that started on the medium tyre. Piatella, Horrell and Swiderski. Everyone else has made a stop. And yeah, I'm guessing we'll know what the strategy is come lap 26, because if they haven't pitted by then, they're going to try and run it as far as they can and go to softs. If they come in around halfway, well, then they're going medium, and I think medium looks like it might be the strategy to go for, the pace that Piatella has. I think this is Piatella's race to lose from this point.
But here's the trouble with Piatilla's strategy. He did a 1:24.4 on that last lap through. Welker is going to come to the line pretty soon, as Nurmela is just a corner away behind him right now. You can see 22.7 from Mitchell Welker. So the difference is about 1.8 seconds over the course of the lap. It's going to be a lot of time that you lose to gain a lot of time in the mid part. But again, it's going to be how Martin Piatilla maximises that middle phase of the race.
These next 6 or 7 laps are crucial for Piatella to hold on to make this medium work. If he can get it to 25 and still be doing low 24s, mid 24s, he might be okay. Got a 20-second lead over Welker.
And Welker gets the move done. Wow. Have a look. Get that on the VRS replay, because that is an unorthodox place to get a pass done, and that is just pure tyre advantage. You can see he's already checking up behind Ben Horrell. He maximises that out wide. Horrell understeers through the middle of the corner, not by much, but enough that he can just send himself up the inside and say, tarry by, I've got better tyres than you.
Yeah, and Ben Horrell wouldn't have thought that at all. He would have known that the tyre situation was completely different between the two of them. So on he goes, and now Nurmela ready to get the move done. I think Nurmela's misstep of hitting a little bit later than Welker still going to be okay, because remember, Mitchell Welker pitted really early on lap 12, so his tyres are going to be hurting. He's going to have to do an average of 3 extra laps each stint to make his tyres work over Marco Nurmela. That would be a big advantage for Nurmela come the end of the race.
Philip Schiff is in the pits. He's had an issue coming out of turn 4, threw it in the wall off the exit of the curb, and now he's in the pits and effectively out of the race as in comes Swiderski to make his pit stop. First really of the medium runners that we've seen, and this is a shock. He's only been able to make them go 20 laps, which says to me he's going to need a little bit of help here to get himself through. He's gone on to a set of soft compound tyres. He's bitten the bullet and gone for 2 stops off.
I actually think there may have been an incident here with he and Ray Griffey-Owen that's forced his hand here. So at turn 12, I believe something's happened here.
Well, he was looking for the inside, and unfortunately my feed's a little bit of a something. That's Anthony Catt, actually, I believe, trying to go down the inside there. So he gets the move done, and no, I think he just comes into the pits all of his own accord. I think he is strategically going for a 2-stop.
Yep. Showed up on my timing that both of those guys have lost 2 seconds on that lap, so I'm guessing that was just down to the lack of pace that Swiderski had, as Jan Stratinsky now comes into the pits. No, he's had an incident.
He has had an incident, and you can see the rear wing's gone, and it's through turn 4, and the front's gone. The front fell off, and it's exactly the same way that Philip Schiff lost it. We'll see it here on the Virtual Racing School replay. That curb up turn number 4 is going to be so tricky. It reminds me of Road Atlanta's curb. As you go through, he just gets on it and bang, it's gone.
And that'll probably end up being race over, because the car's crabbing a little bit as well. So that was a very heavy hit in the wall, as Ben Horrell loses another spot. Live Pictures does not fight at all over Diogo Oliveira. Lets Oliveira go. Without too much of an issue, knows that they're not in the same battle, even though they are in the same race.
Yeah, and that battle is going to be crucial. He knows his race is a little bit different, is to just try and keep himself calm, try and keep himself into play, and I'm sure that this is going to be a very interesting case of racing going on, but at least for the time being, every place we do know will matter, and it will matter a whole heap, as you can see, into the pits. Number 3, Marty Piatilla. How much time has he lost, and where is he going to come out?
And what tyres is he going to take? Mediums. He's going to run it home from here to the end, and he will come out just behind Matt Wood. So out in P6, but remember, no more pit stops required for Piatilla, more than likely that is. Well, this is going to be interesting. In the background there too, you saw a car coming in. I'm not sure who that was. I think it may have been Philip Schiff.
Yes, so someone coming into the pits on top of that as well, and that will not be Philip Schiff. He's still in the pits at this point in time, so he will stay there. But there is your race lead gap between Marco Nurmela and Mitchell Welker. You can see there the difference is about 0.8 of a second. Nurmela's been slowly reeling in that gap, took half a second that last time by. I think it's really key when Martin Piatilla's come out that he's behind Matt Wood Not because he's made any mistakes, just because that's how the tyres have gone. And this is going to be a case of everyone's trying to stop and build that gap. The gap right now for the leaders to Matt Wood is about 9 seconds, so 10 seconds. It's going to take about 27, 28 seconds to go and make a pit stop.
Yep, exactly right. So this race is on. There's legitimately 4 drivers that you could say are in a good position to win this race. Or 5 drivers even if you include Matt Wood. So strap yourselves in. This is going to be a fantastic battle all the way to the finish. As Matt Wood just gets past Ben Horrell. There it is, moved up. Ben Horrell, the only driver yet to pit in this race.
I think he's really trying to throw the boat out, go to lap 25 and just have an easy ride home, it seems. It's going to get easier as this race goes on. We are in full noon conditions as well here, Jay. In-sim time's coming up to about 2 o'clock. So with about half an hour's worth of racing still to come along, an hour and 2 minutes there or thereabouts, it's still going to be a lot to try and unpack. But again, the leading two, Welker leading Nurmela around this one. It's going to be a case of where do you find the magic that makes it happen. So Nurmela's got to be patient. Nurmela's got to wait. And Nurmela knows that his race is primed and picked at this stage. He can pick whenever he wants in comparison to Mitchell Welker, who knows that he's very tyre limited at this point in time.
Yeah, remember, Welker's on 4-lap older tyres than Nurmela. Last lap by a full second difference in regards to lap time. So Welker just crosses the line, does a 23.2 as well for Nurmela. So both the same lap times. Oliveira behind 23.7 and a 22.7 Matt Wood. So Matt Wood, fastest car on track at the moment, is Marty Piatella. Gets a move done on Ben Horrell, no surprise there. New mediums versus old mediums. Interesting, fastest lap just then for Marty Piatella on medium compound tyres is only 0.2 slower than the fastest lap of the race.
Shows you that Marty's got an incredible amount of pace and he's going to use it early on while he has the tyre life to go and keep a element of safety with himself. So this is going to be a case of how much is Marty's tyres going to give out between now and the end. We saw he was losing nearly 2 seconds a lap to fresh tyres. It's going to be a very interesting battle, but as we again have to state, the longer that this race goes on, the more likely Marty's going to be okay and he's not going to have that much drop, because it's all about the fuel levels, Jay. Less fuel in the car, less slip as you go through, less wear on the tyres, and those tyres are going to last a little bit longer.
And the other part of that too is that Welker and Nurmela still have to come in to make another stop for another set of softs, so that'll put them a long way behind. We're not even at halfway and they've already pretty much used up their second set of soft tyres, have Welker and Nurmela. So
here comes the move. Down the inside for the race lead. Nurmela searching for it here. Welker's going to try and fight this one all the way to turn 2. Outside line is there for Marco Nurmela. How brave does he want to be? Sending it around the outside, struggles through the corner. Welker holds on for now.
For now, indeed. And interesting too, Diogo Oliveira's come into the pits to make yet another pit stop. So surprised to see him back in this early. And guess what? He's decided softs aren't working today. I'm going medium. I think that's a good strategy call.
I also think that's a good call. He's going to be on those 25 laps to finish this race, and such a severe undercut as well in this one puts him a little bit behind, of course, the likes of who he wanted to be with. Marty Piatilla, of course, who's gone medium. But the key is going to be when these drivers come in and what sort of tyre they go to. Again, there's another little bit of defending here from Welker, who knows he really cannot afford to be doing this too much. Nurmela trying to find a look through 12A into 13. He's not going to get it there. There's hardly any run that he's going to get. This is a horrible moment of the race. Welker is seeing here the battle for the race win, and he knows he's got only one thing on his mind: defend. And DRS again here for Marco Nurmela. He'll have a look into turn 1 again. He's a little bit more alongside this time than he was last time. I think you're going to have to give this one up, Mitchell. Marco gets the race lead.
Back into the lead after not leading since he came out of the pits, as we've just passed the halfway point of the race. And Marty Piatella does his fastest lap of the race once again. 22.3, only a tenth slower than the fastest lap of the race. So Piatella is flying right now, and that move had to happen for Nurmela to have any chance of holding on to this race victory.
Yes, but that battle cost them so much. They both did 1:24s on that last lap.
Yeah, crazy how slow their pace was in comparison. There's Piatella there, so gap is under 8 seconds for the lead. Piatella is in such a good spot now.
We've also got another battle a little bit further down. Adam Gleeson, who's holding the last spot in the top 10, there is up against Ray Griffioen, who is on those soft compound tyres and is running around at this stage about half a second a lap quicker. So into the chicane, 6 and 7 out on track, and Griffioen just absolutely clatters the orange curb, and his chance of an attack goes away on this lap.
Yep, he's going to have to work hard to close that gap in close enough once DRS comes back around again. Of course, he's on 12-lap old soft compound tyres, and Gleeson is on effectively worn ones. He has pitted once because that was on lap 3 to come in and get that replacement nose cone and swapped over to the medium compound tyre at that point too. So he's on 21-lap old mediums at this point.
Welker's tyres are shot.
Yeah, I was just about to say that gap is now at 3 seconds between Welker and Nurmela. Mitchell Welker has to come in now and get mediums. There is no way that he can get another set of softs the last 20 plus laps, or he's going to end up in the wall.
Has he got a puncture?
He may have a puncture.
God, he's struggling so much through every corner. I think he's worn those tyres completely down. Goes through the left. It's Matt Wood who's going to turn up on the scene, and this is agony through this section. Matt Wood's not going to know how to get by through this section of road. He'll have to wait for this next right-hander that comes along of 11 into 12. You can see he's just so much earlier on the power. Thank you and bye. That's Piatilla, by the way, just behind, who we're expecting to be in the right place at the right time for this race today. Welker's got to come in this lap. He cannot stay out any longer, and he does indeed decide to dive down into the pits. What a shame. He just ran the tyres past his prime.
Ben Horrell and Dennis Branch are battling as well. Of course, Ben Horrell still yet to take service. Right, here he comes.
Oh, wow, 27 laps on the mediums, and he'll come down in for probably a set of mediums.
Yeah, the way that the mediums the softs have been wearing in this race, the medium tyre looks like it's the much more optimal decision. Let's see what Velga does. If he goes softs again, I think that's just throwing away any chance of the race. And he's gone softs again. He's going to try and make these last 23 laps, or else he's going to have to come in for a third stop.
Well, let's have a little look at how long Mitchell Welker's stops have been. He comes up behind Strutinsky, ahead of Oliveira, crucially, so keep that in mind. So he came into the pits, of course, at the end of 11, start of 12, and he made them last about 14 laps before they completely fell off the cliff, and he's gone in on lap 15. So if you're asking him to do 23 laps on the set, no, it's not going to happen.
He's going to have to 3-stop this race, which...
Max Del Orco called, he wants his strategy book.
It's very, very unheard of in this series to see a 3-stop strategy.
Yeah, you're missing your rear wing. Can I come by,
see
please?
a 3-stop strategy be a viable option, and I think if Velker had pitted on the previous lap, he may have been able to make it sort of work in some aspects, but the position he's found himself in with that slow last lap actually looks like his lap time didn't count, so he may have had a meatball, or as you said, a blown tyre. I'm guessing that you're right in the fact that he had a blown tyre there, because there was no way that that car would have been as slow and as out of control as it was on that last lap.
I totally agree. They could see some of the marbles going through that section of road. Ray Griffioen still continuing in his fight with Adam Gleeson as they make the run towards turn number 1. He's tucked up underneath. He's thinking about this. This is coming back from a very long way. Room given, and he's going to take it all on the exit as well here. Griffioen's got a fight here through turn 2. Gleeson, of course, on those old yellow-walled medium compound tyres. Remember, Adam Gleeson came in on lap 5 of the race to go onto that yellow-walled compound tyre, so he is really struggling right now, and we were saying 15 laps maybe. I don't think he's going to be able to get fit to 15 laps. He's got to go another 6 laps on those. God, they must be the most disgusting tyres out there. Look at this crap, though.
Yep, Ben Hyrel and Also, is that Rushka? And there's another car in there too, which I believe is a lap down of
Ken Nielsen.
Kent Nielsen. Yeah, he's found himself a lap down, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, he was a lap down very early on
Yes.
in this race, and he's trying to come back here. He's 19th at the moment. Stratinsky's about, I would say, a third of a lap in front of him right now, as they can see Matt Wood and Martin Piatella together now on track.
yeah, battle as well and truly on between 13-lap-old softs and 8-lap-old mediums, and those mediums will be doing a lot better job of gripping to the track at this stage. As in comes Anthony Catt in for his second pit stop. I don't think we've ever seen a pit lane as busy as we've seen this one here, and considering how short it is making it even busier. I think that's what's making some of these other strategies viable, is the short length of the pit lane.
It's not necessarily, Jay, just the short length of the pit lane. It's just how late the yellow commitment cones are. Because, of course, there are some tracks where you get a very early pit cone. For example, Monza's a big one that has an early pit cone. And then you can see about half of the front stretch is actually you go on attack, and you're not a million miles away. If it weren't for the fact that the commitment line was there, you'd be having a Silverstone example of take the inside on the last lap, or a Bathurst example.
Yep, exactly right. And you could use that to your advantage, but thankfully they put the cones, I think, in pretty much the perfect spot. You can see on the steering wheel here from Marty Piatella, green light on the dash. Means that DRS is available when you hit the line. 4 green lights now. Means that DRS is open, and look at the advantage he's getting. He's going to get it done easy. Where is he?
Through at 1. Yeah, it's done. There's nothing Matt Wood can do about it. He was trying to keep his nose in as late as he possibly can, but he's just not got the tyre. Martin Piatella did a 23 flat behind Matt Wood, who still did a 23.3. All of the while, they are 0.7 of a second quicker than Marco Nurmela, who leads this race and will have to dive into the pits. And I think Nurmela here is really chewing on fibre, so to speak here, Jay, to get himself into a window where those red wall tyres work for the finish. He is committed to the bit, so to speak.
The issue he's got to make is that he's got to have the tyres there, not only to have the pace at the end, but to hold on for enough laps as well. So a fine balance as he goes, so that he's got 12 laps left at the end and can throw it in for all 12. Does he go to 15 and then have to conserve a little bit and maybe hope that he's got enough left in the tyre at the end? The other thing too is Piatella only did 22 laps on his first stint of medium tyres, so he may have to conserve tyres coming in the last few laps as well. Yeah, Nurmela in.
And this will be 19 laps on the final stint. He's done 16.15. I think as this race has gone on, this track has rubbered in dramatically. The Redwood soft tyres have not responded well at all to the track. It has got worse and significantly worse. And this is the point in time where you say, it's going to have to be the mediums here. 19 laps on a set of medium tyres to get yourself home.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what Nurmela does.
No way.
Staying softs.
How's he going to get that home?
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that's in their favour is the track temp has dropped a degree since race start. So whether that is playing into it a little bit, they're thinking track temp is dropping. Do we use that to our advantage? But Nurmela to Piatella, 26 seconds, and he has to do all of that on track with that one set of tyres. So he's got to conserve tyres but push hard enough to gain 26 seconds. This is a tough ask for even the best in the world. Marco Nurmela is going to have it all out here. He's going to have to work so hard to make this happen.
Oh, great battle right now. Ben Horrell and Dennis Branch at it here at this stage, as Branch, I do believe, has just exited the pit. So he's got himself out on a fresh set of tyres. Those set of tyres, by the way, are softs. And he is just walking away now from Ben Horrell, who's gone out on the mediums. Cat and Kelly going at it as well. This for 11th place. Haven't said anything at all today about John Pat Kelly. He's just been getting on with getting on. And that's been good enough at this stage.
Oh, that was close.
Wood did as well.
Yeah, Matt Wood has come in. John Pat Kelly always seems to just find himself in those races where he just does his own thing, and magically we find him up here, gaining positions, up spots, and doing things that we should expect by now, but still don't expect him to do. So Compact Kelly, one of the stalwarts in this series. Is Webb in now. See what tyres he goes to. He's confusing wheels. Those yellow wheels. I'm guessing everyone else is going softs. He's going to go softs, and he does. We'll see if they can last. I don't know how they can. Not with Piatella's pace, anyway.
No, I agree. To that point, anyway, there is your leader, Martin Piatella, who is out to a massive, massive margin at this point in time. Second at the moment is Reynaldo Augusto at this point in time, and that's the gap Marco Nurmel is working with. It is 1.7 seconds, and it's already down to, look, 1.3 as they're stuck behind Jan Stratinsky, and you'll see another second or so come off. It's now 1.1. He's in DRS range of Jorge Martinez, who is a lap down in this race, mind you. He got turned at turn number 1, the Pro Stripe race in the Dallara World Championship, as Mr. Martinez, and has had a torrid time of things. Into the pits then comes Reynaldo Augusto, and Marco Nurmel has got to get by cars quickly. I will also correct myself, it was Martin Brandborg they were all behind, 3 laps down.
Yep. And Nurmel, it's given the track by Martinez there as well, so very, very nice move. But have a look at this though. This is what you need to do when you're trying to get yourself back up to the lead of the race. Let me click the right button. That one looks better.
Fastest lap in traffic. That is pretty strong. And we're talking about a gap here of 24 seconds. Goes immediately to the inside of Brandborg, who of course nearly flipped the car over at turn 5 on the opening lap of the race. So this is turning into a really strategic affair out there. By the way, Augusto out of the pits. He's just behind the battle between Cat and Swiderski, and Swiderski's just lost that place to Anthony Cat.
Yep, Reynaldo Augusto be looking to gain himself a couple of spots here at the end. He only started tonight, so if he can finish above that, he'll be reasonably happy with the result. Be looking to get himself up into maybe top 5 position. And as soon as Nurmel got the fastest lap, he had it taken away from him by Adam Gleeson, who did a 1 minute 21.9 and then a 1 minute 21.8 in his 2 consecutive laps.
Well, Adam Gleeson's in 11th place. He's trying to chase down that group just in front of Augusto and Swiderski and Cat. So he's got reasons to be going quick. And there's no bonus points, so to speak, in this series for a fastest lap. But there is pride, and pride, I guess, is the great motivator of all sim racers.
The biggest motivator out there of almost anyone, I think. So he's looking to gain as much as he can from here on in. Remember, he started in 4th, so he's a long way back from where he started after the lap 1 shenanigans have happened. Now we'll be looking to get himself forward as Swiderski comes into the pits. Coming into his last stop.
Yes. I've just been doing some math, some mental math
no.
about Nurmel and Piatella. The gap there, 121.8. That was 1.4 seconds quicker that last lap than Martin Piatella. He needs to be, on average, about 1.7 seconds a lap quicker to catch that before the end. So either Nurmel has got to go quicker, or Piatella's tyres have got to absolutely collapse.
And the second one is almost definite that it will happen. It's whether there's enough tyre left in Nurmel's car to be able to take advantage of Piatella's tyres dropping off. Piatella's just crossed the line in 1 minute 23 flat. Nurmel crosses the line and does a 1 minute 22.3, so only 7/10 of a second.
Not going to happen.
Piatella can look at those numbers and go, I can hold off a bit, save these tyres.
He can, and that's crucial. He's given himself the margin. He was one of the only few drivers to say medium is the way to go. A lot of drivers who went to the medium either A, got involved in a lap 1 incident, Jay, or B, didn't have the ability to save the tyres around here today to make medium a reality. Only 2 drivers have gone and made that stop a decision. The other one is Ben Horrell, who has been struggling out there, but is 53 seconds down right now. But in 7th position, he's up 13 places, the biggest mover in the field.
Yep, doesn't matter whether you're struggling in regards to lap pace and things like that. If you're still gaining bulk positions because of your tyre strategy, you've done a great job. So Ben Horrell has done exactly that. Interesting, just looking at the sector split times at the moment. Marco Nurmela in the first sector split alone gained half a second. Second sector split gained 0.7 of a second. So this lap here will be the biggest difference in pace that we're going to see since the pit stops.
It certainly will. Nurmela had a bit of traffic to deal with, potentially, as they will go towards the line. It'll be a 21.6. Sorry, I mean Piatilla had a bit of traffic. Nurmela there. That is the fastest lap of the race. I'm not sure if it's official or not. There may have been an off-track incident there over the course of that lap, which there was not. So that will officially be fastest lap of the race, or of his race at least. So the gap down 22 seconds and is clawing back. There's the confirmation it is the fastest lap, but that is 1.4 seconds again only. That's not enough.
And he's got to find a bit more time, doesn't he? He's got to get a little bit more pace out of the car. And the advantage he's got is that the pace for Piatella is slowly starting to drop. So average lap time over the last 5 laps, so this includes the outlap for Nurmela, is almost identical to Piatella. That includes the outlap. So Piatella's 5-lap average laps, last 5 laps, is as good as Piatella, even though Nurmela had an outlap included. So Nurmela's pace is very, very good.
But Piatilla has just put 3 straight laps at 123.0. That is a level of consistency that very few drivers can match. And that's why he's a former World Championship driver in this car, mind you.
Yeah. And he was very, very competitive up towards the front of the field too in that series too back in the day. What the time is this time for Nurmela, and it's a 22.1. Average lap time over the last 5 laps for Marco Nurmela, 1 minute 22.0, 1 minute 23.1 for Piatella. So 1.1 second difference in average lap times over the last 5 laps. That's only 5.5 seconds, not enough.
No, especially when you've got 13 laps to go and 21 seconds to close. So I think this will be about consolidation. Matt Wood is second. Mitchell Welker Matt Wood's third. Mitchell Welker, by the way, is in 4th position and has reason to be concerned here over this last stint, because that is the yellow-walled mediums behind of one Mr. Diogo Oliveira, and that will be a case of, can Welker's tyres hold up? We know he pitted early, had to pit because of the blown tyre, and he's in a very similar spot again.
And we don't think that he can make these tyres last 13 laps either, so he may have to come back in for another pit stop. The race of what might have been for Mitchell Welker just hasn't been able to make the strategy work for him at this stage.
Speaking of strategy, Anthony Catt has got the move done at turn 1. He's through on Ben Horrell. Look at what is behind Ben Horrell right now. We've got Reynaldo Augusto and Adam Gleeson there, and they are both wanting to dive away through. I think Horrell is going to be going backwards over the final stages of this race. They go through turn 11 now in towards turn 12. This is an overtaking opportunity down the hill, and not going to be able to make anything happen just yet, but they've got that run out of turn 14 that they can go and maximise.
I don't think Ben Horrell will be too upset if he does give up these 2 spots at the moment, because the way that he's been able to make the tyres last, he could very well get those spots back come the end of the race. As long as he can maintain DRS range, he should be able to get the spots back. Of course, he has DRS at the moment too from Anthony Catt, but he won't have that for much longer. Last lap time as well, 1.2 seconds difference between the first and second place cars. Still not enough. Marty Piatella still with the upper hand.
He still does, and that is key. Marty's doing enough, but this battle, look behind Reynaldo Augusto right now, because look how close. There, it's right there, Adam Gleeson. He definitely wants to get through, but this is the trouble with a track which was built and has been unchanged, mind you, relatively, since about 2002, 2003. This is the sort of circuit that you have to go out there and say, you're not really going to be finding too much to make a reality in terms of overtaking. This is going to have to be hard-earned, and if you're in a DRS train, well, you're going to have to take that sweet and suck it, sunshine.
Yeah, interesting, this track hasn't really had too many modifications. You can see one of the modifications there, and you can see right there, the top of the screen, the entrance to turn 13, turn 12 better. It was sort of cut off. It was changed in the early 2000s, I believe. And then there was another section. There was an extra chicane added at the exit of turn 4, which sort of cut off into the forest and then back. Very, very awkward looking chicane, and that was removed after only about 5 years of the track being open. So a track that's been around for a decent amount of time, coming up to 40 years, and well, it was Gleeson through. What a move that was. Track relatively unchanged in almost 40 years of racing. Relatively unheard of these days.
I'll tell you what, he caught Augusto napping because of the lap traffic there of Isak Ruska. That was the key there. Oh, lap traffic, he won't go for a move. You thought wrong, buddy. That was a lovely, lovely overtaken. He's going again here, straight down the inside of Horrell. Horrell had to get out of the way. It's a single line chicane through that, and Ronaldo Augusto now suddenly sees Ben Horrell, who's probably got to face a shell shock there about how aggressive that move was.
I think he'd be like, hang on, I can actually look at my mirrors a bit more at the moment. I thought he would have, probably the last time he looked, he saw Adam Gleeson behind Ronaldo Augusto, and then looks again, and all of a sudden Gleeson's going on the inside. So nice move in the end there for Adam Gleeson, and Ben Horrell now once again has Ronaldo Augusto tucked in underneath that rear wing. At the front, still 16 seconds, still not enough.
No, 16.2, but it is looking good so far over the course of this, and time's going to fluctuate up and down depending, as there you can see Oliveira still there fighting with Welker, the fight for fourth place in this race, and get this, they are half a minute behind the leaders.
We're seeing pit stops. There's pit stop delta around about 26 seconds, so 26 to 30 seconds, I should say. So Velker's going to end up a minute behind because we know he's almost definitely going to have to pit again. Oliveira, we should be okay to make these tyres last week on the mediums. If Velker can make these last, though, that will be an absolute shock considering he hasn't been able to do more than 15 laps so far in this race.
Mitchell Welker from Club Midwest in the United States of America will be having himself every single opportunity now to just bring the car home. He will be in full nurse it mode. The good news he's got, though, at this stage, Jay, is that he has a 22-second margin to Dennis Branch, and Branch is fully going to have to be looking behind because Cat and Gleeson are now on the back. And look at the line that, whoa, that is a really aggressive line through the final corner. He is trying to maximise his exits as much as he can.
100%. Trying to use the tyre that he's got for the limited time he's got it. His tyres have been going off quite quickly. It's Ben Horrell, Ronaldo Augusto, they change positions. Ben Horrell back through.
Back again.
I mean, they did change positions, but it was only for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was the case of Ronaldo Augusto running wide, getting up on the curb, and the AstroTurf there on the exit of turn number 1. That portion of the track there down towards turn 1, Jay, that was actually extended in 2003 to make it more of an overtaking opportunity.
Yeah. It was one of the minor changes they made. They did that at the same time as they fixed the turn 12, or added turn 12. Originally, the track up through this section here would go hard, go through here, turn this corner here, and then you go off to the right past the ambulances there. You see that wall, and that would drive straight down to turn 13. So, very, very different corner there. Now, that turn 12 has added an extra overtaking zone because turn 13 wasn't an overtaking zone before. It still isn't now unless you get someone side by side through 12 through the new overtaking zone that it created. So good to see that the changes they made have actually been positive for racing here. Also, another thing that doesn't happen too often these days.
Yeah, and that is a very nice addition, and we have seen that tracks have been trying to find those moves. Augusto again's gone for it here, and again he's fallen through the same pitfall against Ben Horrell, as we focused on the nose of Adam Gleeson, who's again stuck in the same position he was earlier on. Anthony Cat's quick, but Adam Gleeson's not quick enough. Let's have a look at the Virtual Racing School replay, get a little eye on how this is going to go. And this is Augusto again, trying the outside line against Ben Horrell, who covers everything off, goes to that left-hand side, and again, he's just out-braking himself a little bit there, Jay.
Yep, just a little bit too deep. Also probably wasn't up as far as he would like to get the move completed. And as we said before, DRS isn't there to help you make a move. It's to get you in a position where you have to do the work yourself. But it gives you that extra little bit of help. So it doesn't do the move for you in the end.
No, it...
Nermala, 14 seconds, still way too far back. He's got to gain 2 seconds a lap now.
2 seconds a lap from here. He only gained 1 second on that last lap, so expect this to be Marco Nermala just bringing the car home. He's covering off the gap that he wants to as well behind here, Jay, which is Matt Wood, and that gap's around 7 seconds. Oh, Ronaldo Augusto.
He hit the wall there. He's very slow.
Very is an understatement. He has hit the wall, and it's coming out of turn 13. And it's such an easy thing to do. You're going to watch it here. He's going to go through 13, and then just as he puts the power down on the exit, I think he's got a bit on the curb, and then bang. It's not the first bit that gets him, it's the second one. He unloads the tyres from being locked up.
We'll stay on the replay here too, because Adam Gleeson has finally got this move done on Anthony Catt. While it looked like it was finished there, they stay side by side the whole way up to turn 2. But Gleeson now with the inside line. That's it done.
A small kink there on the run to turn 2. That actually indicates where the track used to be on the exit of that section of road. So it shows you just how much they actually have changed the circuit around. But ultimately, move done. And there is second position's Marco Nermala, 14.1 seconds adrift. Welker and Oliveira, this one continues to be a real head scratcher because Oliveira's just been there, and it's just sort of like, you know, you poke it with a stick. Come on, do something.
Yeah, it's interesting one. Welker's had a strange race. Welker's just been doing lots of defending, really. I mean, he was on the attack. When he was on the attack and got into the lead, all he did for that entire time was defend until he had literally no tyre left. And he's defending again. And is he going to defend until he's literally got no tyre left? I'm going to say yes. But is he going to be able to make this last another 5 laps? I can't see how he does. He's already 17 laps in. He's already further than he's been on any other tyre stint. Richard Welker, what will he do here? Will he hold on?
Well, he's doing 23.5s at this point in time. For comparison, his best lap in this race was a 22.2, and his tyres have just been starting to reach that range. He's done back-to-back 23.5s when he was doing some very nice 23 flats. I wonder how much he's actually tyre conserving through. That's a 24 flat on that lap. They are hitting the cliff now. Oliveira's got to start going, otherwise it's going to be Welker's tyre that starts to go.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to get caught up in an incident in case Welker's tyre goes and he ends up in the fence or something like that. But he needs to make sure that he does get it done before Welker has an issue. Because we've seen how many times a single car incident has ended up in a multi-car accident. So this is going to be interesting to see if Oliveira can get this done. He'll be able to. Will Welker hold on for these tyres? I can't believe he's made it this far.
At the same point, you have to talk about Oliveira and his mediums, because you'd have thought that he wasn't expecting to go onto the mediums here in this race. And so how much running does he have on those yellow wall tyres?
Yep, going to right at the halfway point, so should be okay to make these last, but even then, he may not have had the car set up for medium tyres either, so changing the car to mediums midway through the race is maybe not the original strategy call. Sometimes can be detrimental to your car behaviour as well. So this is a fascinating battle that is not done as Welker responds. 23.5, 23.8 for Oliveira, and there's a mistake, so maybe the tyres are really starting to drop off.
He's just pushed a little deep there through turn 1. Oliveira with a chance now to the outside. He tries to go as deep as he can. He's not going to get it, but he's setting up here as Oliveira wants the run through the big right-hander of 3. and up the hill towards turn 4. Not going to get the run. That was the sort of time he wished he had some DRS.
Yeah, wish there has a bit of extra DRS around, or maybe had a little bit extra battery power left, but not quite close enough to get it done yet. It's fascinating, this battle, and we're going to see these two fight all the way to the checkered flag, I feel. And fingers crossed it doesn't end in tears, but my spidey sense is tingling. I feel like this is going to end bad.
Well, your spidey sense is right more than it is wrong, Jay, and that is a credit and a statement for how long you've been in sim racing and seen issues happen out there in the race. Race being led right now by Marti Pietila. The gap is 11.5 seconds to Marco Nurmela, and he is just coasting his way around home to victory. Matt Wood, by the way, in third position, has got the gap down to 4.6 seconds, so Nurmela can't feel comfortable. Remember, he pitted in earlier. He lost 0.6 of a second on that last lap.
One thing too, on this lap alone, Pietila has lost 1.4 seconds. So the gap, while we're saying it was okay, Pietila's tyres may have reached that cliff and he's now having to conserve. It is still 9 seconds, but if he starts dropping into the 26s, it's back to race on again.
That's the question. There'll be 2 laps to go when he crosses the line, and it's been a long slog of a race, over an hour and 5 minutes. They've been out there on track, and remember, he only took 22 laps in his first stint, as there is Cat trying to deal with Ben Horrell. So Cat's had a moment out on circuit. He's dropped back behind, and he'll get back through Ben Horrell. So it's at turn 1. Oh, he's had a huge moment, and it's going to be even bigger. He's going to go into the corner, and I think Ben Horrell here, it's just completely cleaned him out.
Yep. That's a rather decent hit there. And guess what time Pietila just did on this lap? 26.
Uh-oh.
26.0. His tyres are at the point of potential no return as Oliveira now. He's got the run, and they're side by side coming into the DRS zone. DRS open.
Fucking
should
rear
be Oliveira's
foot,
he's through.
God.
And I'll tell you what, Welker was not happy that he went around the outside to try and get that move done. He was trying to cover it off, went around the outside, and then went for it around the outside, and Welker's like, oh, hang on a minute, you're not supposed to be able to do that. There's a virtual racing score replay will come up on screen on this move. Now watch the setup here from Diogo Oliveira. Thinks about the outside here at 13, and Jay, he just goes all the way around at 14.
And that's just making sure that he had enough tyre left in the car to be able to do that, and then forced a shallow exit from Mitchell Welker. And Welker says, no thanks, I can't hold on anymore. And you're right, he'll be disappointed about that. And already 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds ahead is Diogo Oliveira.
Yeah,
and
he's gone.
Tyres flat, you can hear it.
Uh-oh. And that is not what you want to hear. We were thinking that Welker's not going to make it will last that long. And again, it's not lasted that long. But we are on the final lap of this race. It will be a final stop then. Unless he wants to try and drive this around, he can make it home on that blown tyre. Of course, he is having that puncture, and he is going to do that. He's going to try and drive it all the way home. He's got the gap. Marti Pietila did respond better on that lap, 24.6. Nurmela's tyres are starting to really hit that level as well, and that gap is coming down. So Pietila just has to drive this car around calmly, and he's got the job done that he so very much has done so. Through these S's sections, it has been a big think drive. Nobody was really able today to make medium work, but Marty saw it from the moment he set off today from 10th position on the grid. He saw that this was going to be a really tough track for tyre degradation, and he has done what everybody else has been unable to do. Through turn 13 and now turn 14, crown your first winner at the Hungaroring in iRacing's iRacing Grand Prix Series. Marti Pietila gets it at the double and does so with a brilliant strategic piece of mastery.
What a drive, and back-to-back wins as well in this series. So congratulations, Marti Pietila. Marco Nurmela, in the end, will probably be happy with second, considering how many others had strategies falter around him. That Diogo Oliveira, I think he's also blown a tyre on this lap as well. Yes, he has.
Oh my. It's a case of the walking wounded here as they go through. Look at that in the background. That's Dennis Branch. That is Dennis Branch in the background. He is not a million miles away here from Welker, who's just going through the final corner, and he's safe. Welker's safe. That's Stratinsky just behind. And then Dennis Branch, I think, was about 3 seconds adrift. Look at this. They're going to fight all the way to the flag here. That is Ray Griffioen. What a scrap. Horrell around the outside. He's going to hold on here. What a finish.
Horrell around the outside to steal 9th position in the end. What a battle that was. And still one more battle still going. Adam Cohen versus Vegas Zvidinsky. Zvidinsky on 14-lap-old softs versus 22-lap-old mediums. And I think Cohen's going to hold on.
Yeah, he is. Adam Cohen beats Jacob Swiderski there over to the line. And a race which I think really does show how difficult it was today. An extra 10 minutes in that race in comparison to what we traditionally have. And my goodness, did the medium tyres need it here today. And they did win that one overall. Martti Piatella, it's a Finland 1-2 here today as Piatilla's medium strategy works out ahead of Marco Nurmela in second. Matt Wood coming home in third place. Tyres popping for both Oliveira and twice for Mitchell Welker. Means it's 4th and 5th places respectively, with 6th position going to Dennis Branch, who was just a bit outside. Adam Webb then is 7th with Adam Gleeson in 8th. And look at that, you can throw a blanket over those finishes. 3 seconds there, or 2.2 even, splitting 7th from 10th. Ben Horrell in 9th and Ray Griffioen in 10th position. 11th in the end would go to Anthony Catt in the Chelsea car, with John Pat Kelly in 12th for SRT and Adam Cohen there in 13th position. Last finisher on the lead lap was Jacob Swiderski. A horrible day at the office for Jorge Martinez. He's definitely going to want that back after finishing in 15th, with Isak Ruska in 16th position and then Kent Nielsen in 17th. 2 laps down for Jan Stratinsky. He gets 18th place, with Renato Augusto 3 laps down after his crash late, along with Martin Brandborg. Philip Schiff, we saw, get himself into all sorts of troubles. These are guaranteed retirees now through the end, and a lot of them early on. Klaus Siemitz, Brad Newman, Stefan Piotrowski, Jamie Hall, and Thomas Wieck, number 26, the Danish driver, in trouble on lap 1 of this 50-lap race today at the new Hungaroring in iRacing. But Jay, we take that trip over to what was a new track about 3 months ago, the Red Bull Ring. And if you want high speeds and high thrills, this is the place you go. And this is the place you go and battle and race and win and try and get as much as you can out of a track.
What a polar opposite track this is to what we've seen today. Today, very slow in regards to outright top speeds and pace. But we go to Austria for the Red Bull Ring. And I was in 2 minds about whether I'd enjoy the racing we'd see at the Red Bull Ring when we got it. But I'm so glad we've got it part of the iRacing service. Every single race we've seen there so far has been a nail-biter, an epic finish, and can't wait to get back there again for the iRacing Grand Prix Series once again next week.
Same time, same place, SimSpeed TV. If you haven't had the chance to already, you like, you share, and you subscribe for more amazing content brought to you by us here at SimSpeed. Massive thanks to the iRacing Open Wheel community for bringing us the iRacing Grand Prix Series to our screens. And of course, the team who's worked on it, Jay Kennedy, double duty, cameras and commentary. Myself, Jake Sperry. Martti Piatella knew exactly what he wanted, exactly what he needed, and he outthought everybody today in this race. No doubts about it. He knew it was slightly longer. He needed to adjust his strategy, and he did so to perfection. Will that be the same game as we see next week? Well, the only place you're going to check that out is with us here. Stay with us 1 week from today as we will be going over to the Red Bull Ring. Spielberg awaits.
fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, here we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?